Welcome to Tush Twins, heard
Sit up,
exclusive.
Malcolm.
Malcolm, sit up, man.
Oh yeah, I'm down. Sorry, guys.
The director is
The
now
director is has
he
to be
be
directed.
slouching.
Let's start again. Welcome to Tush Twins. We're not going to edit, so the first is going to be there. The first
Okay.
take. Uh, well, thank
And
you for
and
correcting me. With all the things that's happening in LA, I sort of get distracted. One
yeah.
eye is on the fires. Anyway, getting
Okay.
back, welcome to third take three. Welcome to Third Twins. Heard on Malcolm Presents, a uh, a streaming network. Heard round the world
Yep.
and beyond,
And in the Gulf of America.
and the Gulf of America.
Yeah. Oh man. We are the Tush twins and
And
we
we're
are
not supposed to get political, but
tough crap. That might happen in this episode. But anyway, or so
we're,
so
we're,
I'm gonna be
we're,
looking at Malcolm now because Malcolm, your head is gone.
or this 4 years. I have a new chair that goes up and down.
That's the way of the world, up and down. Anyway, so I'm just saying we're the Tush twins, and we're women who kick ass. Okay, so don't piss us off. Learn from our wisdom and learn from our mistakes, even. But just like listen up, and you're gonna have a good time in this half hour, baby. So we were
Yeah.
trying to figure out what to talk about. We were bantering back and forth. Obviously, I'm very concerned about the fires in Los Angeles right now.
So am I.
Malcolm is in LA. I know you see the sky as like, what color is the sky now when you look out?
Well, half of the sky is gray with
Smoke?
the smoke, and the other half is blue when I look at the other direction. Because
Wow.
when I go south, it's gray. When I go north, it's blue. And now there's a
Wow.
fire which is about maybe 5 miles away from me
Ooh, that's not
in
good.
Balboa Canyon.
Did you get any notices about evacuations or
No,
anything, or
no,
just stay put?
just stay put and make
Yeah.
sure that you have your pet, that you know what to evacuate when you evacuate.
Okay.
You prepare your bags, prepare your pets,
Right.
prepare your
Did you
drugs.
do that? Do you
No,
have everything prepared?
no,
Are you serious? You have nothing prepared?
no.
What if you have to leave, man?
I'm staying. I have my water hose. No, no, I'm kidding. I don't have that much that I want to take. I
Okay.
mean,
Well,
there's too much that I have to take. So I'm not, like, pictures, and I don't have that many documents, that would
right.
fill more than uh,
Yeah.
a briefcase. But I
They're
have,
selling Amazon fireproof files now, and you can't even get them.
no,
It's
but
just that
I
cheap.
have so many memorabilia.
Right.
I don't know whether you
Hmm.
do, but I have pictures of the kids drew in kindergarten
Yep.
and the first
Well,
grade, and birthday cards they sent me.
right.
Oh,
Well,
And,
it's a lot of sentimental things, but
yeah,
the bottom line is to get your physical self out.
right. And but
So,
I have my
your
memory.
passport, your checkbooks, your
right,
money,
Yeah.
right,
and your family, your pets.
Well, actually, it's more the credit cards because most of the time I don't spend money and I don't send checks. My landlord doesn't even take checks anymore. No, actually, he
Really?
writes
really.
checks. Never mind. But that's
Well,
the only check. That's the only check I write. Everything else I pay over the phone, or it's automatic deducted from my credit card.
right. So, I mean, yeah, we want to talk about credit cards also, which kind of fits into that.
Yeah.
We could get back to the fires later. My family is fine. I checked in with them, but
Yes, I know. I'm happy.
I checked in a couple of times. I'll check in later. They said that ash was falling into the streets. Ash was falling into the streets.
Wh- wh-
And a lot of the palm trees, the palm frontons themselves,
Yeah.
because the wind is 99, was 99 to 100 miles an hour.
Well,
That's hurricane winds. They've not seen that miles per hour wind.
I don't think that's in Beverly Hills. I think that's more like in the in the some parts of
The
the valley
valley.
up in the hills.
Right.
We've had like the winds like 20 to 30 miles, which is a lot here. I
We
was
have 40-mile gusts
We
still
have
here.
40 to 50 mile per hour
Right. When you
gusts
go
yeah.
out with
by
the dog, you're getting like gusts of wind now.
Well, I was
yes.
Crazy.
walking just by the estates where I live, the parking lot, and one side of it I had to hold on because a gust of wind came in my back and almost threw me over.
Yeah. Well, we had
Same
a
here.
same thing here. Sparkles was looking at me this morning. It was okay walking south, but once we turned around and went north,
Mm.
the north wind
No,
was insane. Sparkles was
it's
like, "What the hell are
ridiculous.
you doing? Get me out of here."
We have, because
What do you
we're
want to kill
facing a
me,
golf
lady?
course,
Yeah,
the golf course and the wind, the trees are bending, and
right,
I'm surrounded by trees back there.
right.
And we've
Yeah, you
had
gotta.
tornadoes here, we've had hurricanes here, but the tornadoes and this wind reminded me of the tornadoes because branches are flying
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, which is why me too. And it's like they're saying here on the local news channel to really be careful when like they don't recommend you walking your dog on a long walk now
Well,
because
no,
of
we
the
don't.
trees and I mean yesterday I was walking and I was talking to someone and a branch fell in front of me. It wasn't a big branch, but if it was a big branch, I could have got hit. So of course
Yeah.
Les was having a cow.
Mm,
When I told him, he goes, I don't
mm.
want you going, down a certain way. And I'm like, I have to take her out, but I'm only going to go like a couple of
Well, even the
blocks.
small branch hurts.
Right.
Yeah.
This was a small branch,
Yeah.
but luckily it didn't hit me or the dog. And I'm like, that's all I need is either of us getting hit. So I have to like really look and try to go there's a block where there's not as many trees. So I go on that block.
But
It's
what the
like,
combination has hit us, it's the winds,
Hmm.
right.
the lack of rain, the lack of water. I mean, we've had, I think, like 0.2% of water, in the last month.
But you
Well,
had
the
all those heavy rains, didn't you?
No, we didn't really have. I don't know. When I saw it the last 6 months, we've had almost no water at all.
I know
But
there was
that's
some rains. I
we see
remember.
here in the news here that it's raining and flooding and
No. Well,
Well,
number one,
landslides.
we have no way of preserving that water that comes from the rain.
Well, they're saying they're running out of what they don't have water to fight the fire.
Right. And
And the helicopters and the planes that they would use
it
that would dust it with other stuff, they can't fly in
can't
this
fly, it's too
wind.
windy.
It's wind.
And the other thing is the humidity is in single digits. So
Yeah,
you have single digit humidity, you
right.
have you have
Heavy
winds,
wind.
And
and
no
then
water.
you have drought, you have no water, and some idiot could flick something, flick a cigarette, flick anything, and that's it.
They
That
should
that
ban
that'll
smoking in
that'll
California
that
right
Yeah,
that you
well,
know.
it's not that, it's the uh, sparks
Right. Well,
from the
that's what I'm
trees that the
saying.
wind takes. It can take them a mile away, and one spark can light a forest fire.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah,
mean,
because
now.
I think it
Smoking.
was Rick Caruso who actually ran for mayor. He was been interviewed on TV. He said, I mean, a lot of it is the fault of the city planners. They
well,
don't they
yeah.
don't clear the forests.
No,
They
not
let
only that,
everything. It's
yeah,
dry, and they let everything stay. All the
it's not, it's that to a degree, but the bigger issue is Los Angeles developers are criticized for building homes in areas considered fire lines,
Yeah, they
meaning
shouldn't.
high risk wildfire zones due to the pressure to meet housing demand despite the potential danger to residents, leading to controversy as they develop on hillsides and other naturally prone locations. They should not
I
be
don't get that.
allowed
Should
to
be
build.
eminent domain. They should be
They,
taken. If it goes, you can't rebuild.
huh.
no, it shouldn't, they shouldn't be
Should have
building
had it
on
building it,
fire
period.
lines. Who are they smearing? The politicos, the permit guys. How is this even allowed on any level? Who's
And then
getting
the
the
people that
dinero
buy
on
these
this?
homes, Maxine, are going,
Greed.
wah, wah, my house is gone. Wah, wah. You built it there. You knew it was a
You
fire
know,
line
it's well,
Yeah,
but
but
my
if
point,
they,
my back to my point, they should not have. I mean,
built
I
them.
know they shouldn't be allowed, especially new construction on a fire line.
You
Some
could,
of the stuff is older and was allowed at the time, I guess, but it's like
they shouldn't be
it's like
rebuilding. It
it's
should
like
become
when they
eminent domain
well,
again.
same thing in Florida. They build 10 feet from the water
you
or
mean
20 feet from the water. What do they expect during a hurricane? That it's going to
you mean
stay up?
you mean where you are? There are no homes near the water,
They're
like the
stopping
valley.
it. In the Jersey Shore after Hurricane Sandy, they stopped building. They became eminent domain. They weren't allowed to rebuild. The
And
Right. There
state
was
took
some
it over.
areas.
It's Dennis had a house on Manilokin. It's right on the water in on the Jersey Shore. His house he built up. It was beautiful. And during Sandy, it was torn. It was ripped right into the ocean.
Yeah, of
We didn't
course.
own
Well,
it. He didn't own it at the time, but
right.
they're not
No.
allowed to rebuild. The people that bought the house from him cannot rebuild. They're not allowed to rebuild anymore.
And were they given the value of the house from the
They're
insurance?
giving partial
That's an,
insurance.
that's
Yeah,
another
Partial.
thing.
the
You
state
can't get
buys it back.
insurance. You
Yeah, you
can't
can't
get
get
insurance
insurance. If you do build,
now.
you will not get any
Well, you
insurance.
California and Florida, two
Mhm.
states that it is much more difficult to get insurance on your home.
Yeah,
Because it's through the roof if you even, haha, using a term.
same thing
But
in Jersey too. It's starting to be that way. It
in New
really
York
is.
too, that I mean, we've had that, over 30 years in this house and we get little increments in, but they raised it like 40%, some ridiculous amount.
It's ridiculous.
And they
It's
going, well,
ridiculous.
you're in an area, that hurricanes and trees and this. So now if you're near trees, it's like don't move to a house near trees. It's like it's just nuts. It's
Yeah,
just
but
The
nuts.
also
river
if they
is
had
the same thing by me.
the proper maintenance of all this land, because what happens is you build a house in a nice area, but
Hmm.
the area that's beyond you might be owned by the state. That has the trees and
You have the backyard as
right
your
and that's
forest.
not taken care of.
No, no. And
We
they
need
look,
we need goats.
Need
yeah, I like
something.
that.
It needs goats. What, are you going to take nature away, Malcolm? What's your plan, man?
No,
You want trees to go away? Without trees, we won't be breathing.
no, but
But what they should
That's
be
why I
doing
said
that,
goats.
I like
They
goats, but
they're using goats because they eat up what's in the forest. So
right.
there's herds of goats that are being used in California and New York. And we
they're
used it right
using
here
in
in
Jersey.
Newcastle. We used it here in Newcastle.
And
We
They're
had
using in
do
Jersey.
they belch or let out air, or this is not
They fart.
uh
They fart.
but
bark?
but it's become more and more of a thing now. So hail to the goats. No.
Not me.
Well, also the big thing, of course, over here is the winds of Santa Ana and where they're from. And it's much worse than I remember it. And I didn't even grow
We
up
just
here.
have blowhard winds.
Yeah. Yeah, when we have a blowhard
Yes.
in a
So,
yeah,
speaking
I
of
won't.
blowhards,
Yeah, there's a
they're
lot of
bringing
blowhards.
down, everything is going to go down in prices now.
Well,
Starting,
yeah, the $7 eggs are
hmm
gonna go down, but as I said before, instead of getting the $7 eggs to be $3 eggs, we're gonna change the name of the Gulf of Mexico, and we're gonna invade Greenland and Panama, and we're gonna annex Canada. They want to be annexed.
what are we? Are we, what do they call
It,
that? England did
Imperial.
that. Imperial, we're not
Fearless.
Right.
imperial. We're
Yeah,
not imperial.
we are with
Unless
this
we're
Zenty.
margarine. Dum, da, da, da.
Well, I said it said make MAGA make America great again. It's like we were when we were imperialists and we took all the land from the Indians. So we're doing the same thing.
Oh, that's
In
cool.
a way, yeah, except How you can't invade a country that is part of NATO, at least you shouldn't.
Oh, you
No,
And
can.
you can't.
you know,
That's what
but
England did to the Falklands. It's the
yeah,
Malvinas, and they
you know,
took over the Falklands. It's in part of Argentina. It's not England's.
well,
That's when they came
um,
into fight. I'm very passionate about that.
yeah, I mean, at this point, we have a base in Greenland, but it is a
We have a base
territory
in
of
Germany. Let's
it,
take
it,
over Germany.
we
No, no,
also have
he has
we
to
also
deal with.
have in South Korea and in Estonia and all over the world. I
Let's take
mean,
them over.
this
What do you want to
guy,
do today, Pinky? What do you
this,
want to do?
we want
Try
to
to
take over
take over the
the
world,
world.
brain.
Yep. It's Pinky
Well,
and the Brain.
the
It's
brain.
Pinky and the Brain.
Well,
One
I
is a
want to know
genius, the other's
I want to
insane.
know how come the war in Ukraine isn't over yet? Didn't he say? Well, he said
Oh,
he
because
hasn't the day one,
he's
but then he
not,
said,
Day one. He's
day
going to
one. We're
pardon all the
waiting.
January 6 people who went to the Love Fest because he said it was a love
yeah.
fest. It was a love fest. I must, it was all what we saw live happening was just not happening. It's, it's on video. I mean,
And not only that, now not even who is the president. Right now, corporate greed is getting to me. I have
yeah.
a stand. Dennis and I are so pissed for
Why?
stopping going to certain restaurants and places because
Why are they
every time
doing it?
because the credit cards,
What happened?
they're charging 3.5 to 4% to people to use their credit card. They made the credit cards for people so you don't have to use cash
Right.
and it's convenience. Now they're making it not, they rather have cash.
No one
And
carries
if you don't,
cash.
and so I go to a
And especially
restaurant.
if you go to a restaurant and you're paying hundreds of dollars. You're going to be
So if
carrying
I go
hundreds
to
of
a
dollars.
restaurant and I take a group of people out, say 10 people, and each person's say $100 a person just for food. So that's $1,000. I'm going to carry 1,000 plus money for tip in my pocket. And what if it's more? Then I have to put the rest on a credit card and get charged 3.5%. They're doing it everywhere. The doctor's offices, the restaurants,
Right.
the
That's
I don't get it.
Well,
Surprise me. Just put it into the price. Don't make me feel like a fool by
that
saying I'm
yeah.
going to charge you. Hotels.
that's what the credit card charges the store.
Yeah,
For,
but you know what? That's their convenience
right.
for people to use a credit card.
For a
Then
Don't
long
they
don't use
want
credit
don't they
cards.
want customers?
They don't want
There's
people
a
are
give and
saying
take for
no.
doing business. If you're doing business and you want to attract customers, this isn't the way to do
you
it.
do it for
Crystal
convenience. Yeah.
Springs, they say they're going to charge 3.5% at the hotel, the Grand Cascade Lodge. So who's going to pay cash at the hotel? So they're getting extra money. And Maxine and you and I know it's not 3.5% they're paying, it's two
Right.
point something. So they're anywhere up to 5%, 4 to 5% more. So they're getting an extra money and they're keeping it.
Well, look what's happening now with congestion pricing. When I have to go in the city and I want to see my son, I have to pay an extra $9. Let's say you're going to a Broadway show. You're paying a $9 tax. You're
Yeah,
paying, at this point, it's fallen on the middleman because rich
yeah,
folks who they don't give a flying leap about nothing. And the people making under X amount of dollars are gonna get a break on the fee. I think it'll be like
right.
half or
And
something.
what if you live in
So,
that area? So you get half price just to go home?
you know, well, if you live in that area, um, you're not going to be paying anything. You're in the zone already. It's not people going out of the zone, it's people coming into the zone. So if I'm driving on the West Side Highway and I want to go to 57th Street, I have to get off on the west side of 56th Street, and there is now an area across that charges me
But if you're
like
going to get
the
off at 56th Street and you're really going to 68th Street and you're just getting off there, you mean charges go through that way?
hmm yeah.
Excuse me. I'm bleeping myself out. Blah, 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 blah.
Yep,
Well,
exactly.
I remember
And
when
purportedly, it's only a 1 day fee. If you stay overnight, they charge you an extra 250 somehow. Don't even ask. And like, how are
Yeah.
the businesses and how is Broadway not screaming about this? How are the
Broadway's another
businesses
one.
not screaming?
Maxine,
Well, the ticket
the
prices, yeah.
ticket
Well,
prices, you go to the box office. You would go to the box office because you were in charge of fee. You go to the box office, they're still charging you a fee
yeah, they're
to get,
charging a fee up here too to one of the venues up here. Even
mhm,
at the box, they're
yeah.
charging a
And
fee.
they,
Like,
you,
what are
you
you doing for
don't get
me
it.
at the box office? I'm buying a ticket. It should be the price of the ticket plus if there's
Yeah,
a tax or whatever.
and did you
whatever.
leave a tip for the person who sold you the ticket?
Are you
No, I
kidding?
won't. No.
Unfortunately, but they're the ones who are just the workers. They're getting screwed.
Yeah,
It's like,
Well,
but
that the
when you
employees
go
got to pay them better.
when you go to Starbucks now and spend $10 for a cup of coffee,
you're an idiot.
yeah, and then you're expected to give a tip to the person who pours the coffee.
Right. I
I don't
don't.
go to Starbucks anymore, and I make my own coffee at home.
Me too. 9 out of 10.
I
I
take
mean, once
my,
in a
I
while.
take my thing with me. I have one just for water, and I have one for coffee.
So does Dennis give you a tip?
Yeah, he sure
No,
does.
she gives him a tip. Or I don't know.
No, no, we won't talk. We won't talk about tips.
I'm
Yeah,
bleeping
because
myself out again.
you better bleep yourself out. So it's like it seems, and wait, and congestion pricing, to add insult to injury on the same day, which was
Mhm.
this past Sunday, they
Right.
raised all the tolls on the bridges and tunnels at the same time, charging you $9 to come into the city.
Yeah.
And that'll be 3 years at $9 because after that it's going to be 15, which was the original
And
price.
where does the money go to?
It's supposed to go to the MTA greedy bastards who don't know how
But
to manage the system and
but
have been
nothing goes back to
pocketing
New
money
Jersey
for a million years. Jersey tried to sue, but they couldn't get they lost the case.
because and there people are coming into I don't even want I take the bus into the city. I will
Yeah,
not
yeah,
drive. I
yeah.
take the
You're not.
bus.
Yeah, I mean I take the train in when I go in myself, so there's
And
no
it
issue.
only costs me
You know,
$12 round trip.
it costs me 15 or
But how
16.
do you get once you're in the city? How do you get around?
You
I walk everywhere.
you walk, but if it's too far, I take a subway or
Right,
depending
and
where it
that's the other
is.
thing with the subway, the safe subway system.
It's
The
not that
subway
safe anymore.
system
It's still safe
is
for them.
getting a really bad rap. I mean, when they do statistics, to tell you the truth, the stats are not as bad as what you see. There's 8 million people live in New York, and you will hear an incident happening every day.
Yeah.
Well, how are you not going to have an incident with 8 million people at least once, twice a day? I mean, it's gotta, you gotta,
I,
we're New York savvy.
yeah.
We look around when we walk. We look around in the subway. You don't stand at the tip of the edge of the subway
Oh
platform.
God, no.
You stand back. If you see a wackadoodle, you walk away.
Walk away
It's like,
quickly.
right. And that's part of being a city kid or city smarts.
That's how we were brought up. You
My
walk like
parents,
you see how I walk in the city.
well,
No one wants to mess with me.
no, she'll run you over. A lady with the carriages, get out of my way. It's like, I'm not doing that, but it's just, it gets to the point where whatever you're seeing on the news, half of it is not even, it's misinformation.
And they
Half of
even
it is
said it's
not
not bad now.
factual.
Hmm.
And now that Zuckerberg takes the he said we can't have fact checkers. You could be your own fact checker, because he's using the book of X that you can
Oh,
say
so we could
whatever
be
you
a, oh, I could be a fact checker.
right. You can be a fact checker. Yeah, you can be your own fact checker.
I could be a fact checker. Watch out,
Right.
I'm fat.
So,
Come
Yes,
on.
I'd like to check your facts, please.
yeah, I like to check your facts, but how is it biased? How is a fact biased when it's a fact? An opinion is biased. A fact
That
is a
no,
fact. It's
it's
black
a
and
fact.
white. It's a fact. Oh, the cardinal bird flying is red. No, it's green. What? No, I just looked at it. Oh,
It's red.
January 6th, they all went and broke in the glass in the doors and pissed in the hallway of the Capitol? No, that was just a tour.
A tour.
A 3 hour
Really happy.
tour.
They
That
were
wasn't real.
happy. It wasn't real.
No, it was all
And then
AI.
one person he said was this wonderful, beautiful person that was killed.
Yeah, this woman.
Yeah,
Yeah, because she tried to shoot the cop, or she
yeah.
tried to
So she was, oh my
attack
God,
the
she was
cop.
killed.
Yeah, but he said no
Well, he
one
was the
died.
first one to
And
knock down
what
the
he
door, the woman.
during the election he said no one died, I believe, at one point. Meanwhile, there were policemen who died and that woman who died,
Mhm.
and the one and he's sitting there throwing his freaking ketchup and plates against the wall, watching this all paint out and do nothing.
Yeah,
I can't. God help us in America, man. Just God help
it
us if
didn't
there is
happen,
one.
Maxine. You're
No.
wrong. It didn't.
No, no, I'm not so much amazed by him. What I'm amazed is that they elected him president.
Yeah. Well,
No,
and
people
not
want
by a
that.
landslide, by the way. Under 50%. And they still didn't finish counting, by the way. And it's like 49 point something, and she's like 48 point something. We're talking one percentage
Right.
point.
Yeah. And
That's
they
not a landslide, I hate to say.
I think they might have lost a seat in the or two in the House.
When?
The
Yeah.
election, but and then there are three people that he appointed to the cabinet, and they're not going to be replaced for another 6 months.
Well, that's Rubio and, well, Vance is out in this. He was Senate, right? And Rubio was Senate.
Yeah.
So those two
Right.
Senate seats.
And the Senate, I think, is only they're ahead by one or two.
Yeah, well,
Now, if the Republicans aren't just robots there, and they can vote what they want to vote, what they think is right. He doesn't have the Senate, but the thing is, they vote what he says.
yeah,
Well, they
well,
have no choice. He's their leader.
Why?
yeah.
He's their leader. They're he's the
I am the
he's
leader.
the main leader.
I do
I
what
know
I'm
what
told.
It's to serve man.
To serve man. Right?
As I
Serve.
said, we did the show that we're not going to talk politics, but how can you not talk politics?
Well,
I
right
don't
now I'm
know. It's
talking about the credit cards. That's pissing me off even more than anything because the other thing there's nothing we could do about till
I'm saying
till we
I'm
get
upset.
Greenland. I'm looking
Eh,
forward. I want to build a house in Greenland. It'll
Me
be the
too.
United. That's going to be our 55th state by the time we're done.
Right, right. Canada's going to be the 51st state.
Right.
And then of course Panama.
We want to take the
Panama.
Panama Canal
Yeah.
because
Uh,
otherwise the
uh,
Chinese are
uh,
going to take it over.
That's right. I mean, I think
and the Gulf of America.
Putin is giddy, man.
How
He
come we
is.
don't? How come we don't want to take over Mexico?
I don't know. He probably
Oh,
does. Too many drug cartels. He doesn't want to deal with
yeah.
them.
I think there are too many Latinos there.
You know. Right. He wants to send everyone back to Mexico. So how could we be a part of Mexico?
Well, the
They already
problem
passed that the immigrants that have some sort of any
Record.
type of minor criminal record,
no, no, no.
they're
What the
going
thing
they're
was, I
going
think they
back.
just passed it that you don't have to be convicted of an offense. You have to be charged with an
Charged.
offense.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
But
You
does
don't
he
have to
not
be
have to go to
convicted of it.
Mexico?
I guess
You can be deported.
innocent until proven guilty unless you have 34 felony accounts against you.
Mm.
And he just went up to the Supreme Court to try to stop that too.
Right.
And
Well,
and you think let's take a bet now. Do you think they'll go with him? They'll say, "Yeah, you're fine. You're immune."
no, no, the Supreme Court is basically
In
they're
his
fair.
pocket. It's his
No,
court.
the
He owns
Supreme
them.
Court is fair. They're the law of the land.
Yeah, they're fair. They're fair. Okay. All right. We'll
Don't
see
you
what
know that?
happens. No.
Well,
Every
if you want to call
I
us,
think
it's
the Supreme Court should
Berman
have
Malcolm at gmail.com.
terms.
Hold on, you're talking over each other. Russ, you go, redhead.
I think that the Supreme Court should have term limits.
They should. They should.
I
And
agree.
they're putting out like number 18 years, which is a long time, but it's better than
But it's better than
lifetime.
100 years.
Yeah,
Or
well,
age limits.
age limits and term limits, you
I
know?
think term limits. I think three
I think there
terms
should
is
be a
more than
age
enough.
limits for senators. I mean,
Oh, God, yes.
they pointed in Congress or something, um, someone who was like he was 73 and he has cancer and was given the appointment. And not to say anything, because I'm now the 7-0, but I'm like, you gotta start like flipping it over. Give it to someone in their 50s at least or something. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too.
How come senators were voted, were elected for 6 years, and congressmen and House of Representatives only voted for 2 years?
I think because sometimes the House that they change the lines change in congressional districts a lot more. I mean, the minute you're elected is the minute you're trying to be reelected.
Right.
It's only
That's
2 years. Well, I'm gonna look into that again. I knew the answer at one point. It's kind of slipping me, but yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me. And as Mitch would always say, nothing makes sense and
right.
plenty of it.
A-
This is
a-
one
Yeah.
example.
Anyway, guys,
So
our show is over.
yeah, we
Oh,
had fun.
We had, and are we going to change this into a political show?
No.
no. I like
Right.
comedy better.
Yeah, I like comedy. Comedy is pretty. Well, comedy
No,
isn't
no, no. What
pretty.
do
I
they
don't know.
say? Genre is easy, but comedy is hard.
That's right.
It
Yeah,
is, but
that's
I have
true.
to say, I try to look up some funny things today
There's
for our
nothing
show.
funny.
There was nothing. There was no funny
Nothing.
news. There was
No,
nothing
I
happy that I
don't think
wanted
anything
to.
funny about the fires that destroys people that
No, there's
destroys
nothing. I was
people's
just trying
lives.
to find
Hold on,
something
they're
more horrible.
Musk and Trump are blaming the Democrats for the fires.
Oh,
No.
are they?
This just in. They're blaming Democratic policies for the deadly fires.
Of course, it's
Oh, okay.
California.
And they lashed out against Newsom, calling the fires virtually apocalyptic. And this was on Truth Social, pointing a finger at protecting endangered species. So they'd rather all the animals die. But what is that? That's not even true. What the hell? Oh,
Send him back. He's African American. Let him go back to Africa.
Who's that?
they said
Must.
Oh,
he's South African. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
an
African
African
American.
American.
He's an immigrant.
Yeah, send him
Oh, and
back.
he's
And and who's the
he,
other guy, which I always forget is how to pronounce his name?
Which one?
The one who he was appointed, I think, with Musk is
Vivek, whatever his name is.
yeah, that's what I mean. Whatever
Yeah.
his name.
Vivek something. Yeah, another piece of work. And the other guy in that crew is Peter Thiel, another piece of work.
How come
Um,
Melania is not going back? She's an immigrant.
And now Mark Zuckerberg is looks like is joining the
yeah,
I don't
billionaire
Zuckerberg,
get
club.
it.
Bezos, and yeah,
I was
they
shocked at
own.
Bezos.
I wasn't shocked.
Anyway, children, I want you to come up with
Just
solutions to the world's problems.
yeah.
The next
Well,
show.
just know that there are 813 billionaires in the U.S. and they have $6.72 trillion dollars. The other 50, the bottom 50% of the U.S. has 3.7 trillion. The bottom 50% in the millions, hundreds of millions, have 3.7 trillion, while 813 billionaires have a total of $6.72 trillion dollars. I like to live in America.
Eddie.
You like to live
Well,
in America. We like to live in
Okay, go feed the
America.
puppy.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Mexico, baby. All right.
Shalom.
Shalom, peace be
Ta-ta.
with you, my
Until
children.
until we meet again, because this show was a bitch fest. Show
Next
your
week.
pictures. Show your
Bye.
thing.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. Don't go
Oh.
off.
Well,
Wait 1 second.
this is
There
my
you
new
go. And
calendar.
that there you go. We had to stop
Actually,
with that.
we should rename the show from the Tush Twins. Bye.
Badass
All
bitches.
right.
Bye.
Peace out.
Peace out.